Who has a bit to start this off?
I don't know. Usually you have the bits.
I don't have one.
You're the funny guy.
Am I?
I mean, that's what you tell everybody.
It is, but have you ever considered that I'm the liar guy?
No, I'm the liar guy, remember?
That's right, yeah. What if this is just the episode that doesn't have a bit at the beginning? What if the bit is the lack of a bit?
Oh, I lost the bit.
Honey, I lost the
game.
I lost the game.
Get it?
No, what about something drill bits? You lost the bit, but it's your drill, like a little Phillips head?
I feel like we're writing a show. We're not
Little
actually.
Phillips head?
In scene 1, Ryan
Little
loses
Phillip
a drill
baby.
bit and then steps on it and cuts his foot
Speaking
open.
of which, we have a new host here. We have Philip with us.
What? Okay, go ahead.
We have
Philip.
We replaced Jessica's out in the yard.
We're now an
We
all-male.
we sent Jessica back to the farm.
We're an all-male cast now.
Up to New York.
Well,
upstate New York.
well, he did you ask if he identifies as male?
Do you?
I was trying to
Be
think.
careful with your next
I was
words.
trying to think of like how Arthur from Red Dead 2 would say that. Something along the lines of like, "What are you on about?"
It's close.
Sure.
That's pretty good. That's pretty close. God, I wish I was not sitting here.
Why?
I feel like my eyes are being burnt out by
Are they though?
key lights.
Here, do you want me to do that?
That kind of helps.
Okay.
I can go from here.
Yeah, there you go. Now no one can see me. Perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And there's our bit.
I'm showing off my tattoos here.
Yeah, I'll show off mine too.
There we go.
The tattoo triangle.
Oh, do you want to do a triangle for the video listeners?
For the
There it
video
is.
listeners.
There it is.
Look,
The triangle.
Future Ryan immediately put an eyeball in between it.
Okay.
Illuminati.
For our audio
Confirmed.
listeners, we did just do a triangle with our hands. It was very cute. Hey, welcome to pop culture unboxing. Matt.
Ryan.
barley.
No.
I thought
Try
it was
again.
Phil.
I thought it was barley.
It's Philip.
Why? Wait, I'm so confused.
That's what I said.
Who
Philip
am I
Barley.
anymore?
Philip Barley. There
So
we go.
that was the bit that he was telling me on stream. He was like, "No, it's barley." I'm like, "Why can't we just have Zach pick the name?" He's like, "No, it's barley." Like he wanted me to keep it with barley so he could trick us all on the show. That's how in depth his jokes go. This is something he held back all the way from Saturday.
Wednesday,
Why?
actually.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
That's a dead meme.
It's not dead to a lot of people.
In your defense, the name Philip.
In my defense?
The name Philip didn't come to mind until I was talking about Phillips head screwdrivers, and then I decided, oh, that's gonna fit a lot more naturally
That's
for
gonna
Zach's
fill
new
that
name.
missing spot in our show.
There wasn't a barley shaped hole. There was a Philip shaped hole.
And only his.
It's got to be a
never
flathead
mind.
because this is negative.
Oh, why would you do? Why would you?
That's
You could take that back. It cost you nothing to say that.
That hurt me. Oh man.
I love that meme. Somebody just says something ridiculous. It costs you nothing
Give me that hat.
to send.
Give me
You
the
don't
hat.
deserve that.
Give me the hat.
Ryan,
What?
you had topics you wanted to talk about, right?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, what were they?
All right. In my head, I'm gonna do a scrambler, like a die. Actually,
No,
behind you, grab a dice. In that somewhere in there. All right. 6. 1 through 6.
4.
6.
Okay.
All right. So we're talking about Godzilla versus Kong.
What in tarnation?
For our audio listeners, I hated Ryan a sprue instead of a. And if you don't know what a sprue is, Google it. SPRUYE, not a YE. SPRUE. Sprue.
Google is sprue. I'm gonna Google what that means while we talk.
All right.
Did you watch the film?
Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
Thrice.
Yeah, you did watch it 3 times. Did you watch it? Philip? Bowcaster?
I don't know who I am
Philip,
anymore.
Philip Zach Barley.
Philip Bowcaster, Zach Farley. Barley.
I like to say Philip Bowcaster Zach Barley.
Did you watch it?
No, I
This
did
is
not.
not a good start to your first day.
All right, wait.
Just to let
So-
you know, I was promised by a couple friends that we were going to rent out a movie theater and all go together to go see this wonderful movie.
Sounds like you have bad friends.
Yeah, you do.
I know they do.
You
They're
have a very
terrible.
poor choice of friends. I'm glad we thought of the same bit, Ryan. Okay, since you haven't seen it, and me
I
and
have not.
Ryan have, myself having seen it, dry.
A good runtime.
That is the German
Dry?
word for three, not
Oh.
dry as opposed to wet.
Just saying.
But that being said, you know.
Just saying.
Zach, using the title and what you know about it, please tell us what you think Godzilla versus Kong is and what happens in it. Spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen it, HBO Now,
So-
go watch it.
So I'm almost 100% sure with the way that they do trailers nowadays, all the scenes that we see with them fighting are effectively all the scenes of them fighting.
No.
And
No.
that's going to be it.
No.
Nope.
That brings me joy.
A very successful runtime, by the way.
Yeah.
Only an hour and 50 minutes, not an hour.
Which I'm going to bring that up in a little bit.
An hour and 50 minutes, not
Hour-
2 hours and 30 minutes.
I'm going to
like-
bring that up in a little
You're
bit.
going to bring it up?
Yes,
I just did.
I have something else I want to say about it. Okay. No, to answer your question, most of the fights you see in the trailer are the first fight they have.
Oh, cool.
Not the
That's awesome.
not the whole second half of the movie.
I
That
got
is
so
phenomenal.
bored with the human parts that I started making voices up for the humans. Like
Wait, what?
The podcast character who
Yeah.
Russell from Deadpool 2. I
Nope.
gave him
The podcast character was the black guy. Russell was the kid.
okay. Well,
The
the
other
kid.
kid.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The kid.
The
I
Kiwi.
thought they were the same person. See,
Kiwi?
That's the thing.
I read subtitles and gave
Zealander.
them voices. So
Oh, dear.
Okay.
but I gave him because he reminded me of like I told you I was like practicing the Bane voice. This is what all started it. But I gave him like a weird voice. So every time we talk, like Godzilla's coming raw. Also, I found out that there's a program called Jira that's like a ticketing thing for project
You
managers.
just found out about Jira?
No, I'm just yeah, kind of. But listen, did you know the name Jira from it comes from Gojira?
Does it?
I thought that
I find that hard. Really?
I thought it
If
was
I'm right,
a lie. But if you
Jira is
Google,
a goddess in
I'm serious.
a.
Google
It might be
I
Egyptian
took
mythology.
I took a Jira class on Skillshare, and the first thing the guy tries to tell me is that
Yeah, you're right.
Jira
Atlassian
comes
named its
from-
product after Gojira.
Huh.
the dude told me that on the class, and I didn't believe him.
Do you know why?
I googled
This
it.
thing says why. The idea for the name came about because before they developed the tool, Atlassian's coders used a bug tracking software tool called Bugzilla. And so they went from Bugzilla to Zilla to Jira.
to Gojira.
Cool.
Gojira.
So
So now every time I
all,
talk,
so all of this suffice to say, that was not all the fighting in the movie. So what do you think happens in the movie?
That's awesome. No, I feel like it's going to be a
Spoilers,
lot
maybe?
of.
I already said spoilers.
Oh.
I feel like it's
Second
going to
time's
be a
good 'cause
lot
spoilers.
of disappointment because I feel like, based on what they've shown previously in movies, it should just be a real quick Godzilla kills Kong dead done.
Okay.
It should be like.
Nah,
That's
doesn't-
my
They do it
opinion.
way better.
Yeah, they do.
Now that being said, it doesn't mean that it's not a fight, but I feel like that fight should not be as
Okay, so
exaggerated
in
as it
Zach's
is.
version, they fight a bunch, and then but despite all that fighting, Godzilla one-hit KOs Kong.
Well, no, I think it's one of it's one of those things where like Godzilla is effectively
In the first 10 minutes, Godzilla one-hit KOs Kong, and the next hour and 40 minutes is just Godzilla playing with his dead body.
It's just Godzilla standing over it,
Yeah.
and you hear,
And every time
Godzilla reply
Kong
back.
twitches,
yeah, right before Godzilla kills Kong, he just yells out, "Save Mothra!"
we,
Why did you
weekend
say
at
that
Kong's
name?
place.
I love it.
Uh,
That's the
So,
best
okay.
meme that came out of that.
did we spoil this movie for Zach?
Yeah.
do it.
What everyone else got it spoiled for them practically on the first trailer.
True. Did they?
Yeah, the first trailer shows like the big reveal
Kind of.
of the robot.
Kind of. Mecha Godzilla is in it. It sounded like you knew that already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Godzilla wipes the floor with Kong. Like, it's not even a competition. Godzilla wins.
Good.
Oh, through and through. People are trying to claim that Monkey is better, but Kong is laying on the ground. With
Disregard monkey, return to lizard.
Kong is laying on the ground, beat to hell with his dislocated shoulder, and Godzilla's standing on his chest, like roaring at him, and then leaves him there to die. And then Kong gets better and
I-
they fight Mechagodzilla together.
I feel like that's not a Godzilla move. I feel like Godzilla's move would be to like lean down, whisper in his ear, "You thought," and then just blow his head off.
You know, he does lean down right to his face to roar in it. That could be what he's saying. And Godzilla,
You know,
it's like you.
you know what they should have done?
you thought.
They should have never showed us them fighting in the trailers. Just make
Yeah.
us think that that they did not learn, and the whole film is going to be about the human stuff, and then just
Yeah.
surprise us, because that sucker punch in the trailer is way more satisfying in the movie too. If you pretend that you didn't get
Yeah.
that spoil right there on they're on like a army barge, like a like an
Yeah,
and
it's an aircraft carrier.
yeah, an aircraft carrier, and Godzilla's like standing about to like attack Kong, and Kong just wails it right in the face.
Yeah.
and just the impact. You're watching on TV and you feel the impact.
Yeah.
it's so crazy.
Okay, so
Good
more
film.
critical review of it. Well, kind of.
Well,
You'll probably agree with me, Ryan. I think the best thing they did for this movie was making Kong the main character. This is absolutely much more a King Kong movie than it is a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yes,
It works so well for this movie.
it's a Kong album with
Featuring Godzilla.
Yeah, featuring Godzilla.
Godzilla.
But okay, here's my thing. Did you notice a certain character who only had one line despite being a bigger actor than to deserve a single line?
I mean,
Oh,
does Mechagodzilla
I
talk?
think I know who wait, say that. Ask that question to me one more time.
Did you notice an actor who said one line despite being a big enough actor that he deserved more than one line?
Oh,
Was it Michael Duncan Clark?
Kong.
No.
Technically, he didn't
Kinda.
even say that. He did it with his fingers, but
Yeah, he did the home.
Skarsgård,
No.
Scarbigar.
No, he had a ton of lines.
I love that. Like,
Lance Reddick,
Who's that? Who was
Commander
that?
Zavala. He's the one who tells.
Holy hell! I didn't
Yeah.
even remember him in it.
Yeah, he's the one who says to the guy from the last movie, "We've begun evacuating the city." His only line in the entire movie. And Lance Reddick has done a lot. He's a very famous voice actor. He was in movies. The place you were most likely to see him was he was the concierge in the John Wick movies.
yeah.
And he's done he's done stuff on SNL a lot. The best one is what is it? Don't Rainbow Read Me.
oh no.
It's a phenomenal bit. But anyway, he has one line in this movie. And then there's another shot with his face, and that's it. He is the 8th highest billed actor in this movie.
Hey man,
Like, of
I'll
all
take
the
it.
actors, he is the 8th highest paid of all of them, which doesn't line up with him having one line.
What was his?
What does
line?
that tell you about the movie?
They cared. Well, in my opinion, all these actors were locked into like a contract that they didn't want to
No.
use them. That's what I think.
That's not mine.
That's why Millie Bobby Brown's in it.
Nope.
She's in it because they had a long-term
that move
contract.
Screams rewrites. This movie got rewrote and reshot.
Oh, we knew that.
Yeah, there were massive reshoots for it.
Yeah, we knew that.
And having watched the film, I almost guarantee it was to add Millie Bobby Brown and her whole storyline,
I was gonna.
because it does not fit well in with the movie.
I was gonna say, how do you have
Well-
reshoots in effectively an entire CGI'd movie?
Oh my god, man.
yeah.
There's
Like-
there's a whole section. If you think you don't even have to think hard. If you just pay attention to what happens with the human arc, this movie falls apart
Yeah.
story wise so quick.
Yeah.
So is it kind of something like is it something like The Last of Us 2, where like you can very clearly see in certain parts of the story where they decided to go a different direction and they didn't make it
Let me
make
tell
a
you
smooth
this.
transition?
We got titans that fight each other, a giant robot that fights them both, and what ultimately kills Mechagodzilla is a glass of water.
Kind of.
Oh man.
Yeah. But so it's stuff like that. And it's,
Mechagodzilla
my
can take
guess
down
is
Godzilla, but
there-
his
this-
weakness is a cup of water.
My guess is this movie didn't include Millie Bobby Brown and her dad, who were the main characters of the previous movie. On top of that, I guarantee they didn't have a good way to introduce Mechagodzilla, and so they killed two birds with one stone by having Millie Bobby Brown's character with the other two, the podcaster and her friend, discovering Mechagodzilla. But the problem is that you have to step back a little bit. You have the two teams of human characters. You have the Team Kong and the Team Godzilla. Team Kong works because all the people who are with Kong are with him. They're interacting with him. Every scene they're in, Kong is with them.
Yeah.
Team Godzilla never interacts in any way with Godzilla, obviously. but they're not even anywhere. The only time they're in the same place is when they're all in the same city together at the end.
In an overly neoned out
I loved
Japan.
No, it's Hong Kong.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
It's great.
I loved that choice. I love all the neon. I'm a sucker for neon. Like, and that's the thing, is the visual design of this movie was great. Like, I love what they were going for with it. The CG was incredible, except for one or two little things. Namely, when Kong kills that big lizard flying snake thing.
Oh, yeah.
The green blood is rough. It doesn't look like it got fully rendered. But otherwise, yeah, I think you take out Millie Bobby Brown's character and all of her characters' friends and stuff. I think it becomes a much tighter movie.
What?
You just have to find a better way to introduce Mechagodzilla.
What happened to, like, Brie Larson's character? What happened to her?
She's either really old or dead at this point. Kong Skull Island takes place in the 50s.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, 40s or 50s.
I didn't watch a lot of these. Like, I got it. I only paid much attention to Godzilla. Because
Which
once
is-
I saw Godzilla King of Monsters, I was like, well, these,
That was a great movie.
I'm here. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm here now.
And this one was better. I'd argue better than King of Monsters.
It's pretty good.
And did you hear about how well this movie's doing?
It's probably through the roof.
It already broke 300 million in box office. And this is by far and away the most subscribers to HBO.
Wow.
Like, I think they've seen the most subscribers ever with this movie.
Could you imagine?
This movie is doing gangbusters right now.
Could you imagine what it would be like if it was actually in theaters? And theaters
It
were actually
was in
open?
It
theaters.
is in theaters.
It made
That's what
300
box
million
office
from,
means.
It made from 300 million from theaters alone,
Yeah,
not
'cause
including all the streaming sales.
Yeah, box office doesn't count streaming.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it
Because
already
this is free technically on the streaming.
it's 15 essentially, but what they're going to look at is how many people
Signed up.
signed up this month.
See, I think those.
I'm sorry, I'm wrong. 285 million
I think
worldwide.
the numbers get really like tricky though, because
Yeah.
a week after, because we just had the Snyder Cut come out, which now everyone's saying how good it is, which could bring which is potentially bringing subscribers. But if you have that and you've got this film coming out, of course people are
What
going
are they coming for?
Of
Yeah.
course they're going to flock to your streaming service. Everyone wants to
Yeah.
see, because these are the Snyder Cut and King Kong versus Godzilla were both two films that I'm pretty sure everyone was like, those are both going to suck. And then
Speaking
now
of the
we're
Snyder
finding
Cut,
out they're great.
Speaking of the Snyder Cut, have
Yep.
you started to see where directors are starting to like make arguments that they should be allowed to put their cuts
I
out too?
told
in
you it
the
was
same
going to
manner?
happen.
Yeah.
I told you. There's a prop. There's a problem.
So
Oh yeah.
Problem comes from it.
Well, now I think the problem with that is like there's some movies that are just bad.
There's
that
people
they're gonna
saying
be like,
about-
yeah, it was clearly the studio. Let me do my own thing, and it's like, no, that was just bad to begin with.
I'm willing to believe it when it comes to DC properties, just because the studio did have a good portion of why all these DC films suck. But no,
Well, once there's less of a monopoly on studios, it'll start to open up to where you don't have any choice but to let people make their own thing.
yeah, I guess I don't know, man. I called it though. I called it was gonna happen.
yeah. So yeah, I'm really glad to see this movie so successful, and I think it's already on track to be more successful than King of the Monsters, which this is the end of the legendary Toho deal, but I guarantee they sign another one because these movies have been getting better and better, and I think a lot of people agree that this is the best design and story for Godzilla we've seen probably ever.
What do you think is going to happen? What do you think the future plan is for this now? Because basically what happens is Godzilla and Kong both are like, we're going to go to our own respective islands and we're going to be kings there.
I think a lot of the time, in a lot of stories, especially the Toho films, after they fought in the 50s in Godzilla versus King Kong, I believe they were allies a lot after that. Is anytime there were more than one monster, Kong would help Godzilla fight them. So you kind of had Godzilla, Kong, Mothra, Jet Jaguar would be another ally they would have sometimes.
I
kinda
can't
weird.
wait for an Avengers version of the monster. I can't wait.
It does seem kind of weird because it seems, at least from
Who are some of his others?
the Godzilla movies that I watch, it's like, oh, it's like, here's something I need to fight. It's gone because I am the dominant one. And it's like, if you're no threat, then you can live. I don't care. But like, if you could be a threat, you're gone.
Yeah, they have a straight up staring match at each other. Like after the dust settles, after like King or Mecha Godzilla is destroyed, like they straight up stare at each other and they do like zoom ins on each of their eyes. It's great. I felt so intimidated by a CGI monster when I looked at Godzilla, because Godzilla was just like, All right, that's done. You want to go again? Round 2?
Another one I hope
Well, I
they,
guess in this case, round 4.
one that I hope they don't bring back. And actually, I hope they don't bring back Jet Jaguar because he's kind of doofy looking.
What's he look like? Wow, that's some straight up Power Rangers
you're just gonna
stuff.
have to Google it, Zach, because there's no way this thing's turning all the way around. Another one I hope they don't bring back is Manila, which was the son of Godzilla, and he's even doofier looking.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, these are all like like people in like a in a costume. Now
Yeah.
that CGI exists, like Godzilla
Yeah.
looks way better CGI versus like the costume. that
Yeah.
these were.
So like one thing we might see is we didn't see any of the other monsters from King of the Monsters, so I bet we see Rodan again, and we'll probably see Mothra again
I hope so.
because Mothra comes back to life a lot. She's like a phoenix basically.
Love
She
Mothra.
dies to power up Godzilla and then comes back again, and then we'll see Kong as an ally probably. We'll probably have another Kong movie, honestly. But so then you get into the weird stuff. It's like, how do you have a Kong movie without bringing in Godzilla? Because whatever threat there is that Kong has to face, why isn't Godzilla there too?
I don't know.
That's going to be the big question they're going to have to
well,
answer.
the one thing
I think they'll go the way of the superhero movies where it's like, oh, Spider-Man's fighting an extreme threat in New York. Like, where's Iron Man? Where's the rest of the Avengers? Like, it's
this
gonna be
isn't
one
an
of those
Avengers
things
level
where-
threat.
Well, but that's
Yeah,
but the thing is that with the Avengers you have these humans that can look at this and be like, oh, Peter's got this handled, or Thor's got this handled. But with Godzilla's like, is there a threat to the planet or is there not?
People keep saying a lot about how like the Hollow Earth stuff doesn't like that part of this movie does not make sense. If
That's-
anything for me, I was like that would make more sense because where are these Titans hiding?
Exactly. It's like,
Of course there's a hollow. That's the
like,
only way
yeah,
it works.
You've got this issue with that is your issue with this movie? Like you've got these giant monsters.
So to give you Zach and anyone who didn't watch like context, is it Skarsgård's character?
Alexander Skarsgård,
He like discovers that the Hollow Earth theory is like real. It's real. Everyone is like thinks that is such a like it's a stupid plot point and it doesn't make any sense. They're like they're Titan monsters and and some of them have been hidden for like thousands of years. Well, you think like the only way it makes sense is if there's a Hollow Earth.
Exactly.
That's where they hide.
Well, and I
And
assume
they even
that
do that with in the past movies. They keep saying
They
like,
mentioned it.
They find them in like inside
Massive
the Earth.
caves,
Yeah,
yeah.
Earth, massive caves.
No, they name drop the Hollow Earth in Skull Island and in King of the Monsters. I think
Yeah.
the first one's the only one where it's not mentioned.
Yeah, so it's like I don't understand where I think what it is a bunch of people being like didn't watch any of the other past films and they're
Yeah.
now jumping on this one and then they were like Hollow Earth theory. That's
I'll
stupid.
be honest, I still like Pacific Rim's reasoning better.
It's just an
It was a
alternate
portal
universe.
from a different dimension.
I wouldn't have liked that for this.
I don't think
I
for
wouldn't have
this.
liked
No,
it
I don't
for
think
this.
I would have either.
Yeah.
because Godzilla is supposed to be of Earth, and like
Yes.
because he's unlike his original interpretation. Now he's morphed into the protector of Earth.
Yeah, I will say the rapid shift in Godzilla is our protector to he destroys one thing and they're like God we have to kill Godzilla.
Yeah,
they
it's strange.
jump size real
But the
quick.
problem is for the movie to work the way it did, Godzilla had to be the villain.
Oh, I get
which
it.
worked really well for the movie.
I'm saying how they did it was a little rushed, I guess is what I'd say. Because what's he blow up? What's he destroy?
it was the cybernetics facility
That's
in
right.
Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah, so and that gives them a reason to build Mechagodzilla. But everyone assumed like he destroyed that planet destroyed that building, and then the whole planet just decides Godzilla's a monster and we need to kill him. After like, so like I got the cybernetics place like reasoning to build
Well,
thing to kill Godzilla.
You
but
didn't
the
need that
whole-
threat to be reasonable to say, hey, listen, if for some reason he comes after us, we need a way to beat him. And that's a better reason than, oh, hey,
Yeah,
this
that
random
makes more
thing
sense.
just happened.
But they were all like, he's our protector, and then he destroys one building. They're like, he's a monster, kill him.
Well, and it's a big cliche to have
Kill him.
like the general that's like trigger happy.
I get it.
But I think it's totally reasonable to have a general come out and be like, hey, look, like, I get that he defended us this time, but for some reason he sees us as the threat. We do need to have a contingency plan.
Granted,
and then that gives you a reason to build a deterrent. Because we do nuclear deterrent, why not have a Godzilla deterrent?
Granted, it's clear that the writers all had figured out, like, people aren't here for the story. They're here to watch these monsters kill each other. So, like, but still, again, this film, this is where I have a heart. Like, if I had to rate this film, this isn't a good film. It's just awesome. It was awesome. It's like Dawn of Justice was for me. I can tell you Dawn of Justice is a terrible movie, but I loved it. But I agree. It's a bad film.
Yeah, this one, what was the last? Oh, the one thing that they never bring up in the movie, which is kind of funny to me, is the incalculable death toll that takes place in this movie.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands of people die and they never mention it.
I like to think it's because, like, after the last time Godzilla got into a fight with another monster, the same amount of number of people died. So now at this point, it's like Titans killing humans.
First he levels San Francisco, next he levels Boston, like, catastrophically, and now it's Hong Kong.
But that's the part that always, like, tricked me out, is like Godzilla, like, everyone calls him the protector of them. I was like, no, I think he's more or less a protector of Earth, of the ecosystem of Earth. I don't think he notices you because you're such a, like, last minute thought.
And I think that's the what they're going for, is that like, King Kong is a friend of humanity and protector of the land. Godzilla is a god who protects the planet.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about us. Like, he's just making sure that life continues on Earth.
Yeah, if you die because of his fights, it's the last thing on.
He doesn't care.
Nah.
And in the end, it's like either he destroys a city or Ghidorah takes over the whole planet and terraforms it into a hellscape. Oh, DC got demolished too. I forgot about that in King of the Monsters. They kind of glossed over that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about comics.
I was like, wait,
I was like,
Godzilla did so good he
there's
killed
that cool
DC
shot
Comics.
of an aircraft carrier going through DC because DC is completely flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, well, and
That's the thing, though. Like, the Earth gets destroyed.
Yeah.
These Titans fighting the Earth is like, we don't live very long.
Luckily, our technology is apparently increasing by leaps and bounds thanks to these guys.
It's true.
Because in King of the Monsters, the only thing was that jet that's not even bigger than jets we build now, and now you've got flying gravity cars.
Yeah. You keep trying to talk, and we're like talking over you. What was your name again? What do we call him? What's his name again?
It is Philip
Bowcaster
Zach Barley.
That's what it is. Hey, Philip, do you want me to say the full name, or is there a short? Do you want a nickname?
well, I was trying to think of a nickname, but it's like
Burger. Your nickname is Burger now. All right, Burger. What do you got to say? What's your thing that you have to say?
Okay, I'll go with Burger.
All right.
It's the hat. It's the hat
It's
with
the hat.
a giant Indiana Jones symbol.
Oh yeah, this is. But yeah, I think that's one of those things where, like, it's you've got too many ideas of what Godzilla is without a, like, defined thing. Where, like, it would make more sense if it was he's taking out anything that might be a threat to him. Like, because now if he's the defender of the planet, then you kind of run into the same issue of, like, well, if it's a threat to humanity, most likely it's a threat to the planet.
Yeah.
Like, so why wouldn't that? And you run into too many issues with it. And, like, it seems like Godzilla is I would say that he would be the defender of himself. Because he really is just looking to get by doing his own thing. So
I think they, like, figured, but they addressed the fact that in the films, he is, like, the Earth is still intact because Godzilla maintains the ecosystem. Like, without Godzilla, the ecosystem collapses.
that doesn't make any sense.
Well, come on. A lot of stuff doesn't make sense. Again, Mecha Godzilla gets taken down by a cup of water. If you're wondering what that means, do you want to explain that to him?
Yeah, I was going to say,
really.
I
I don't like
assume
it.
that he just gets sprayed and it's like, oh, look, we didn't make him
No,
waterproof.
like Millie Bobby Brown, them. It's like it's a high end security lockdown building, and Millie Bobby Brown and them just walk in the hallways, and they happen to walk into a dude and knock a glass of water. That's not really what happens. Like, Kong and Godzilla destroy Mecha Godzilla, but they, like, accidentally spill a cup of water on a computer.
No, it's not by accident. The kid on purpose takes
right.
the guy's little flask of whiskey.
Yes.
And pours it down pours it into a computer console. And then in the movie's defense, it only works for about a second.
Yeah,
But it just so happens that
I
second
just-
is all that Kong needs.
I like to overblow it because it sounds a lot funnier when you think about the fact that like a small cup of water killed is what really all it took.
Godzilla.
Yeah, it wasn't really. It just made him hesitate long enough for Kong to get the upper hand.
And that's something where, like, if you want to build a movie like that where you need both of them to live at the end, like, Godzilla has just wrecked anything that might be a threat. So if Kong is going to be a threat, then he should wreck him. Like, he should kill him. So, like, what you need to do is have them fight and make it not easy for Godzilla to win, but make it clear that Godzilla is going to win. And then what's happening is because of all these things going on, we preemptively send out Mechagodzilla to end Godzilla so that we can maintain ourselves.
You know
right?
what-
And then they have to fight together because the two of them together can beat Mechagodzilla, but then they can't do the other. But you also have to make it clear that Mechagodzilla is willing to kill both of them.
Yeah.
So, like, it's one of those things where, like, you can set it up better so that they have to work together, and then at the end, it's like, okay, as long as you're not gonna
My final
mess with me, then
my
I won't mess with
final
you.
thought in
Yeah.
this film is Kong is better than Thor because Kong goes
Yeah.
for the head.
Yeah. Okay, I do have one other thing about it.
Okay, one more.
Maybe you can help me, Ryan. Why did Pacific Rim 2 bother me with how fast everything moved, and this movie didn't? It didn't bother me that all the monsters were moving quickly in this.
Really?
I don't know, and I'm trying to figure out why. It bugs me in that, but not this.
I didn't think that was the thing that bothered you about Pacific Rim 2.
It was
though.
one of the many things that bothered
Really?
me. It's just how
I don't
maybe
know. I mean-
maybe it's because
Scale.
in Pacific Rim 1 it set up that scale. It set
Yeah.
up that these things are moved slowly. And it shot them from realistic angles. Like in Pacific Rim, almost every shot is either from the ground as if you're in a car or something like that, or in a helicopter.
Yeah.
There's no floating camera, like cameras just anywhere, but in Pacific Rim 2, it's constantly like that. The camera's just
Yeah, it's just
floating through
weird.
the air.
I think I would say it's probably the fact that like the only time that this is really sped up, like it feels like their fighting is really fast, is when gravity is helping pull the, like in a case like Kong's in the air and he's falling, like gravity because of his mass and it would pull him down real
Yeah.
quick. Now, granted, he also does move kind of quick,
Yeah.
but I think that where in the case of like, in the case of, if I remember correctly with the other film, all of they built them up as like there were these massive these massive robots and massive. Also, I think it's just because a lot more just because the CGI looked worse. Like the rendering of how fast they moved did not look good compared to it did in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like the animation
Quality
and-
matters.
Yeah, like I think
Because
that's
if it looks
really
choppy,
what,
then it's no good.
I think that's what your real problem was with the speed
Probably.
of Pacific Rim 2 versus this.
Yeah.
That would be my
And I
assumption.
think in this, it doesn't do it the whole movie. Like,
Yeah.
it's only right toward the end, once you're invested in the fight. And the way maybe I explain it in my head is we're seeing it from the monster's perspective.
Yeah.
To them, they're moving at a normal speed.
Yeah.
But if you're an observer on the ground, this is all gonna look a lot slower to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's the problem: the square cube law comes to bite you whenever you think about these movies. Because that is just what that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is
Things can only
for-
get so big.
Yeah,
I've had this discussion with you before.
I'm sure we
Yeah,
have
I
because
feel like I
I
have.
talk about it a lot. But for anyone who doesn't know on the show, the square cube law is the idea that with a three-dimensional object, which everything is, if you double its dimensions, you quadruple the weight or you quadruple the mass. So if you think of a single cube, if you double it in both directions, so you have two cubes to eat on the side and a cube on top. So a cube on the side, a cube on top, and then a cube in front of it. So now you have 4 cubes. But you doubled it. But you have 4 cubes, which is why it's called the square cube law.
Yeah.
So that means that, the bigger something gets, the harder it is for it to exist because its mass just double or quadruples every time it doubles.
You know what? You don't need a giant robot to kill all the monsters, though. You just need a Witcher.
Yeah.
Toss 2 coins to your Witcher now, because season 2 is finished recording.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, I finally had a good segue.
That was decent.
I want to remind everyone what I said before, which I didn't come up with this, but it's a good input by wherever I read it. Witcher is great because it's just a good show. It's not a phenomenal show. It's not game changing. It's just a good show. It's fun to watch, and so I hope for more of the same from season 2.
I hope
To be
it
honest
doesn't
with you,
go
it's-
too long. I hope it has like a solid 6 seasons in a movie. That's it.
Yeah.
It's harder to have a good show nowadays with something that's just consistent than it is to have like this excellent show, because as soon as you have a bad season or a bad thing happen, now it's just so drastically obvious how
Well,
bad it was.
It also helps that these they're being inspired by the books, and the writer of the books finished it. Unlike Game of Thrones, like, what's his name? George R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
Didn't at this point can't even finish his books because
He
there's
won't.
nothing he can do.
He'll never finish them because he has no idea how to end them.
Yeah,
But The Witcher is different.
I can't wait for his video game. The video game that he's being a part of.
Wait, what?
So him and the guys at George R.R. Martin and the
Oh,
company
wait,
that
yeah,
makes
I think-
Dark Souls, they're coming together to make like a game. And I can't wait for you to get to the last boss and it just abruptly ends. It ends with a coffee cup sitting on the ground.
Sheesh.
I figured you were gonna laugh at that, but you didn't.
I'm sorry, I'm distracted.
Well, what's going on?
My bank app's not working.
Your bank app?
Yeah.
Did you lose money? Someone
No,
steal you?
I'm trying to
Rob you?
Zelle someone some money and it's not working.
Zelle.
I'll figure it out after the show.
Zelda?
Zell.
So,
You gotta start throwing
so we're
pots?
actually going to see a Witcher season in chronological order now.
Yes. Yes.
I'm excited about
Get to
that.
see Ciri grow up, Cirilla grow up, and hopefully
Become a Witcher.
yeah,
Spoilers, by the
become
way.
the female Witcher that we all want her to be.
Yeah. Whenever I played Witcher 3, I didn't get much further past her first level in that.
Oh my!
So do
Yeah.
Witcher's
Dude, you
age?
missed out. You missed out on really good.
I
games.
know.
I mean, Destiny got in the way.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
So do Witchers age slowly, or do they just live longer? So do they go through like a regular transition to adulthood, or do they like
They're
actually
not made a Witcher
extend
until they're
everything?
adults.
Okay, so
No,
she would like
that's not true.
in 18
I
years
thought
she
they
would
were.
be an
I
adult.
thought
and
they
then-
were trained until they were an adult, and then they were given
They're
the mutation.
trained, but they are given the mutation at a young age.
Oh, they are. Oh.
Depending on, like, if I remember correctly, the show follows that, and I think the books follow that. The video games, yeah, the video games are the same. That's the same all three ways. It's like as a young child, because not all the children that get taken to become Witchers survive the mutation,
Yeah.
and they don't train them until they know they're going to survive.
That's
the
right. I
mutation.
always remember it because it's like it's almost exactly the same as the Spartans in Halo.
Yes. Yeah, they train. They like do all the weird stuff. The only reason that Geralt is like different than all the other, why like he's such a big deal of a Witcher is one, he's like one of the few remaining members of the School of the Wolf because they're all either gone or dead, and he continues to alter his like his DNA. Like he continues to do work on himself with like potions and everything like that. He's one of those guys just like, I am a Witcher, but I could be better. It's like, if I just inject this into my
Inject
this into my veins.
If I just wish for my dead girlfriend to be alive, I can.
Yeah, like that's why he's such a big deal, is that he literally just like after he grew up and left the school and now he just hunts, he also just constantly like steroids himself up to be a better Witcher.
I was gonna say, which is why Henry Cavill is now playing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, Henry Cavill is
Leave Henry.
much
Leave
bigger
Mr.
than,
Cavill
than-
alone.
Oh no!
Yeah, leave our boy alone.
He's the only only PC gamer in the celebrity world.
I was going to say nothing against him, but he is much bigger than the build of the Witcher that I've seen. All the other depictions of the Witcher. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
He's
true.
massive compared to what he should look like.
I remember the first time I ever seen him, like after he worked out real, because how he got that big was it started with Superman, and the first time there's like a scene where he runs, like in the whole film he doesn't look like he's that big, and then there's a scene where in like the rain he comes walking around to steal clothes from this house because he runs away from home in Superman.
Yeah.
He just walk out, and it's just this. He just looks so big that it looks like
Yeah.
he can't close his arms. You look at him running, you're like, that is a scary man. Like, they didn't come out, like, it's not that they didn't notice him stealing the clothes. They probably looked out their window and said, I'm not messing with that. It's like, why is this human,
This guy's scary.
why is this half human, half ox creature out there?
Well, it's hilarious. Have you ever seen him with pictures of him building his computers?
I watched the whole video.
Because like he holds every part as if it's a precious child on the way in. It's like he's such a gentle, massive individual.
I loved watching him. Like, so he got a cooling system. Like, he got one of those like liquid cooling systems. I can't remember what they're called now, but they have like the radiator attached to them, and they have like the the actual central unit that goes over the processor. And like he put it in, and then you see him like on his computer, and he's constantly just moving this thing around at different angles to try to figure out what he likes the most. And like towards the end, like he puts his graphics card in, and he realizes that the tube hangs down on top of his graphics card, and it just cuts to him with it down. It looks like he's taking it out to re-put it so he can so it doesn't touch his graphics card.
That's priceless.
If you're, it's really funny to watch him like build the PC. That was also his first ever like he built PC. That's why he filmed.
That's awesome.
Because he's always had custom PCs, but he did like the pre-build thing. Which I don't care what you say. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting a pre-build as long as you're getting it.
Didn't he not show up for shooting because a game came out?
No, he almost
he missed the call from Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder called him, and he missed the call because he was in a dungeon in World of Warcraft.
That's priceless.
He's like, he said in the interview, like he answered he like looked down at his phone. He like had a heart attack, and he called his agent, and Zack Snyder tried to thank him for it because he thought he lost it from World of Warcraft.
That's so great.
And then immediately played World of Warcraft after he got off the phone.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's great. Guy knows what he wants.
Bash
Yeah.
consoles too.
Oh yeah, PlayStation or Xbox.
PC.
Yeah, he scoffs. It's incredible.
Guys, like, well, the thing is, like, I would have said the same thing. I was like, "You're a PC gamer?" I was like, "How do you have time?"
How do you have time?
Henry
That's
Cavill,
funny.
he's a really cool dude, though. I as like a person, he's a really cool dude.
Yeah, he seems like it.
If we ever become real famous streamers, that's my dream. Is
Just to stream
just to
with
play
him.
with him.
Yeah.
I don't even have to. He don't have to talk to me. Just like he just gets into Destiny and like we play a Crucible match and there's Henry Cavill. I'm like hunting him down.
Yeah. Oh
Going
yeah.
for him.
You got to do it.
I have a target.
You're
See you guys
legally
later.
required.
Yeah.
So is it going to be
Send
one
him
of
a,
those things
send him
where
a
you're
really
like,
mean message over Discord.
So we're getting relatively close to the end. What else do we have to talk about?
yeah, what do we have to talk about?
I don't know if we even mentioned it. Season 2 of Witcher is finished, and I'm excited for it to come out. Star Trek trailers. You had a bunch of Star Trek trailers.
First Contact Day was 2 days ago, I think, which is in the future, the day that we get first contact with the Vulcans. So in Star Trek fandom, we celebrate that. And so what Paramount did was they released trailers for
I celebrate
next
May
seasons
the
of
4th.
Lower
so-
Decks, Picard, and Discovery season 4. So Lower Decks season 2, Picard season 2, Lower Decks season 4. Lower Decks season 2 looks fun. Comes out, starts August. I forget if they said what day in August.
I don't know. I didn't watch
It's
the trailer.
August something.
If
Picard
anything,
season 2 and Discovery season 4 are both 2022, I think.
if
And
Lower
they
Decks
both look interesting.
if Lower Decks is anything like season 1, it'll be good.
Yeah.
If Picard is anything like season 1, it's going to be very disappointing.
Yeah. Well, and here's what I'm hoping.
Discovery,
is
I
from,
don't know.
From what it looked like in the trailer, this season of Picard is going to deal with time travel and Q,
Oh boy.
which is dope.
I'm getting kind of tired of the time
what
travel.
I'm hoping. Well, no.
tropes.
Here's the thing. I doubt it'll be actual time
Just
travel, like
freeze
going
time,
back in
you can
time
take a
and
nap.
changing things. I have a feeling that this season is going to be a direct continuation of the events of Encounter at Farpoint, Tapestry, and All Good Things.
I don't know why you looked at me like
Encounter
I
at Farpoint is the season or is the series premiere of Next Generation. All Good Things is the series finale, and Tapestry is a season 7 episode where Q takes Picard back through his life so that Picard can see how the choices he made that he now regrets shaped him into the person he is now. Because he's like, oh, I wish I hadn't done this. I was such a stupid young man.
Yeah.
And Q says, all right, there we go. Back in time, you have a chance to not do that now. And so Picard doesn't do it, and then he sees himself in the future,
How different he is.
and how different he is. And he's taught the lesson that, those stupid decisions you make, you learn from them, and those
Yeah.
shape you into who you are. And so I'm really hoping that this is and then the final episode is Q showing Picard that, essentially what all of it, the whole series has led up to, and taught Picard of how to lead people, how different it is from when you start leading them to when you finish, and then even after that, how you influence people, and how your influence over them affects how they respect you later.
I could get
Things
behind
like
that.
It's dope. I should
Yeah,
show you.
if they do it well, that's good.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of getting tired of the whole time travel thing.
Yeah.
Where like everything is time travel and it's kind of
Just
used as a plot point
the-
because they want to do something like
Yeah.
like cool.
Because the
and-
thing, do you know who Q is in Star Trek?
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought he gave us the cool gadgets.
Q is like close. Q is essentially the closest thing to
Bond
God.
reference?
Yeah.
Q is the closest thing to God that Star Trek has.
Okay.
He is an omniscient deity, essentially.
So he does
that-
give us gadgets.
Essentially, yeah.
Cool.
He can, snap his fingers in anything, changes reality completely at a whim.
That's awesome.
He can turn a star off like that, make it never have existed to begin with.
Turn a star off. I just got the best mental
And
picture
so,
of it.
Just
but
walks
he has
over and
this,
flips a switch.
but he starts out by calling on Picard and saying, "This is a trial of humanity to see if humanity is worth continuing." And so every time he pops back up, it's kind of him continuing that. But like, he's not a villain; he's kind of an antagonist. He drives the plot forward, but at
He's
heart,
God.
he's a good person.
He's
And he's
just God.
curious about humans.
Well,
And so
I think that's actually a neat character setup where it's like, okay, it's not necessarily a threat, but it is a challenge.
it's a challenge to be better.
Yeah.
And he plays it like he thinks we're worthless as humans, but you can tell that he doesn't think that. He thinks we have the potential, because he even makes a comment about it later on in the series. He's like, we're interested in you because we see humanity as having the capacity to surpass even us. And these are gods, essentially, that snap their fingers and change reality. And they believe that humans will surpass them many, many millennia down the road. And so it's just a fascinating... It's fascinating to see this deity interacting with humans. That's what Star Trek is all about, is those moments like that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of hoping that's what Discovery and Picard will both try to go back to, is, every season doesn't have to be this universe-ending catastrophe in progress
Yeah.
that they have to stop. It can just be a small story.
And that's the thing about storytelling that I think we've kind of gotten away from, because everything has to be so, like, quote unquote epic, is that, like,
yeah, what else
you can't
could you
just
do?
have like two people with like adverse goals where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, look, I want to do something and you want to do something, and it conflicts. So now we have a problem. It's not that like neither one of us have malice towards each other. It's like, oh, what we want is conflicting. How do we fix that? And like that's a very lost storytelling.
I've seen the trope of you've got 10 seconds to disarm the bomb or the world explodes too many times.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done everything when you come to like catastrophe could happen. Like we've had half the universe get snapped away. We've watched cities get lifted out of the sky and thrown to the ground. We've watched giant titans fight each other and destroy billions of lives in a short amount of time. Like, we've seen it all, man. Just give me a story. That's why I'm going back and like enjoying a bunch of like the old stuff that I used to watch, like The Notebook.
Oh God.
Classic film. It's classic film. I mean, just like, because for once,
It's actually surprising to me.
Yeah, it is.
well, the reason I say it is because for once I don't have to. I've never realized it, but I'm really tired of watching people punch each other. It's like I'm really tired of seeing somebody punch each other and then immediately
so
become
funny.
friends just to punch each other later in the
you should
series.
watch Star Trek. I think you'd like it.
Like I just watched Silence of the Lambs again, and I've realized like this is
I don't like watching people punch each other, but cannibalism's cool.
I'm just saying, it's like all of the old films where like the main the problem is not going to end the world. Like if the hero fails.
Well, I think
Ryan,
that's
what
kind
does
of
the
the
liver
thing.
go
is-
well with?
Fava
I mean,
beans.
is that a nice
And?
Chianti?
Chianti.
My dad does that really well. Creeps my mom out.
But
It puts the
But
those are
no,
just
I
two
think
examples of
hose again.
films I watch. But like I'm going back and like rewatching a bunch of stuff like just like old stuff that I used to like as a kid that some of it that I forgot about. Like I just watched Shrek 2 last night. I sat down. I was like, it was
Simple.
like Rob and I. It was like 9:30, and she was like, "Is it time for bed?" And Shrek 2 popped up. I was like, "Give me 1 hour and a half, please. Give me an hour and a
Brilliant
half."
movie.
And
Well, to be honest with you, I think a big part of that is like we've moved into these things where like the things that we're watching are bigger than things that individuals go through anymore.
Yeah.
And like there's no good stories about individuals overcoming things.
that's why I want Matt Reeves the Batman. Like apparently, Matt Reeves the Batman is an actual detective story. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see Batman just beat the crap out of people for 2 hours anymore. I want it to like Batman to actually be like with me, guiding me through like with me together. Let's solve this mystery. I don't know what this riddle means, and then me and Batman together have to figure it out. And then somehow I'm like, I don't know riddles, and Batman's like, I just figured it out because you were here.
What about
because you
what
were
about
here?
a 1.5 hour long movie where it's just Bruce Wayne with one of those really expensive puzzle boxes, and it's just him having to solve how to get in there.
As long as I'm
and
there,
inside of it is a little green question mark on a piece of paper.
as long as I'm
And that
there,
sets up the sequel.
if they bring me there, the sequel is just another bigger puzzle box.
Yeah.
It's just him, except now he's wearing the costume. Like we
Yeah.
missed the part where he got the cow and everything. Now he's just in the cow.
That's
Anything else you guys wanted to cover? We're running high.
I just want to say my final thing that I leave this show
Okay.
with. I will fight anyone to the death on this. But that scene,
Wow.
the scene in Shrek 2 where they're playing I Need a Hero and Shrek's with that giant like gingerbread
yeah.
bear. Or gingerbread man
Yeah.
to
Gingerbread
save
bear.
the day. That whole scene leading to the very end is probably the best
It's so
moments in
dope.
cinema ever.
It's so great how they mixed in the music with the orchestral score there.
Yes, so good.
Yeah.
I
I'm
had
gonna call up our friend
goosebumps.
Sideways again.
The goosebumps the whole
I love
way.
Sideways. He brings that up a lot. Is
Yeah.
that scene. So good.
That's I was like, man,
So-
I want to be Shrek right now. I'm ready to go save the day.
Okay, so according to Ryan, your homework is to go and watch Shrek 2.
there you
Yes. Or any films that you remember as a kid that were like great films that,
Yeah.
that you have
Brave
forgotten
Little Toaster.
about. Oh yeah. Brave Little Toaster.
go. Pretty Woman.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. That's a good one.
Toy Soldiers.
Oh, like
Young Kirsten Dunst.
yeah, the young Kirsten, the one that has a scene that creeped me out. The
Barbies?
Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
And like that was the
With all
point.
their siege equipment.
That
That's a
All the
great
siege
movie.
equipment.
yeah,
I'm
but
not
that
lying.
that whole
Or no,
thing
it
with
was the other. It was the army guys that had they besieged
Yeah.
the house.
for me the
Such
whole
a cool movie.
the whole Barbie
funny.
dolls and like tying young Kirsten Dunst up, like that stuff for me was just like as an adult now I'm like, this seems weird. This seems really creepy to
This
me.
is Toy Soldiers is the Toy Story for people who like Saving Private Ryan.
yeah, yeah, it's true.
That's funny.
Have you not seen it?
No, I was just laughing at it.
the
What I was thinking of
Gorgons.
is like
The
I kind
Gorgons.
of, to be honest with you, I kind of miss those movies because you could tell it was somebody had a vision that wanted to put a movie out there.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, cool. Like I could see what you wanted to do, and it was kind of fun to watch. And like
Yeah.
now everything's so like produced.
Yeah, same as the
It's-
old Cats and Dogs movie.
Cats and dogs.
Yeah.
that's what it's called, isn't it? Just cats and
Yeah,
dogs.
was.
that was a good one.
With who voiced the Beagle? Was that it
Oh.
wasn't Michael J. Fox, was it?
I can think of it. I can think.
I don't
oh,
know
man.
why, but that's the person I want to say. I don't think so though.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
was it
it's-
Mario
it's a Mi-
Lopez?
No, it was a Michael J. Fox type. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I think they definitely were kind of going for that voice.
Sky High. Sky
But
High was
Jeff
good.
Goldblum was in it. He played the dad of the
Yeah,
family that has.
yeah. Jeff,
That's right. Yeah.
and he's trying to turn him. He's basically the mad scientist from The Fly.
I was gonna say, did you guys know that there's a
The version that didn't become a monster.
Yeah,
I think it's not Italy. I think it's France. There's a massive statue of Jeff Goldblum there.
is there really?
Yeah, it's from Jurassic Park,
Should
where
be here.
he's got his shirt
Oh.
open and he's like laying down after he broke his legs or
The
whatever
image
it
of
was.
sex.
Dude,
And it was
I will never forget the fact that there's a version, there's like a timeline
I knew you were gonna bring this up.
where I got tattooed by Jeff Goldblum.
I
Wait,
almost
what?
said the same thing, that there's a timeline for that for you, but I thought it was made out with him, and I don't know why that was in my head. But I do like to
There
think
is a
There is a
timeline.
timeline where Ryan made out with Jeff Goldblum.
There
I
is
was gonna say,
timeline.
are you guys just combining your dreams now?
Yeah,
Any
Yeah.
day, any day. That show he had on Disney
I
Plus.
still haven't watched it.
The fact that he filmed the episode where he came to Pittsburgh and tattooed people made me so
That's
mad.
the
I was like, man, I could have been on this show
You could have. Well, next time.
if he ever.
Speaking
comes
of
back.
next time, next week we should talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Why am I being stared at?
I was gonna tell you to get it, but I was like, nah, you have a moral code.
So thank you all for listening. If you want to check out our show, you can go to popcultureunboxing.com, or you can go to social media, any of them.
Yeah,
if you
right?
want to tell your friends about us too, because word of mouth, big. It's big good. Word of mouth, big good. If you want to see me, you can go to Matt Ross VO on Twitter, or you can go to Twitch Jan Jinkle.
It wasn't even that funny. What?
Your turn.
Oh. You can find me on Twitch, I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and some days during the weekends at Riki Tiki 252. Wait, 252. Yes, 252.
Okay.
And that's my Instagram and Twitter, I think. I'm getting a logo made, which
Pog?
now the dude messaged me to be like, hey, man, I'm sorry if I'm late. I just realized I never asked you. I never like talked to you about why I was late. And I was like, it's okay. What's going on? He's like, I have like 30 other commissions, but he sent me a link. He's live streaming him making our commissions, so like I can watch where my name is on the list as he crosses people out.
Oh, that's
so I've
cool.
been watching him every day making other people's logos, just like looking to me like, man, I can't wait to see what mine's gonna look like.
Yeah, I know, right?
Also,
That's
I'm
cool.
getting because he's late. He's giving me a free like animated intro.
Oh, that's dope.
So I was
Oh,
like,
that's cool.
Wow, thanks, man. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Zach.
You can find me, Borax Barley, at
Wait, what? Borax Barley?
I don't know. I forgot what you called me earlier, so I
I
just went
could have
with.
swore.
It is now. So wait. So now it's Philip Bowcaster, Zach Boxcar Barley,
Boxcar bra,
Boxcar Borax.
Jesus, I need
Borax
to.
Barley.
I hope you know.
So
that
wait, let me try this. Philip
Bowcaster,
Bowcaster, Zach what is it?
Boxcar.
No,
Boxcar Borax.
Boxcar Borax Barley.
That's as
Yeah.
worth as God's
Wow.
battle axe and weapon of war.
Oh God,
I'm
I
gonna-
regret.
I
this.
hope you
have
know.
to come
Where
up
do they
with a new
find
one
you?
later.
In the
Well, you can find me at little_leaf, LIEF. That underscore is important. I am
are
not
they
a
just
middle-aged
killing
Brazilian
Zach
woman.
and taking his Twitter? Like every single one of the
keep
movies,
changing
like
the
keep
handles.
taking his they keep taking his Twitter handle. Is the
Well,
real
it's
Zach
like James
dead?
Bond.
First thing we're gonna they're gonna take
Yeah.
his girlfriend too, and his whole life,
Yeah.
and his job
Wow,
and everything.
Oh, you can take my job because I don't have one.
got him.
Well, technically, they have been taking your job because after
True.
you leave, the new one comes.
job.
I hope you know in the video format when I show our names at the bottom, I'm gonna put that whole long. There's just gonna be
long
the
thing just,
whole
like,
bottom of the screen is
right
gonna be this
here.
long line of names, and then it's just gonna be
So
Matt.
great. Do we got anything else, guys?
No, I think that's it. Well, thank you all for listening. Bye. I love you.
Hey, see you later.
Have fun.